Hello guys, Rollerbat1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, we're going to be doing the future of Yu-Gi-Oh, a segment on my channel where we talk about cards coming out later in the game and discuss them, look at them, give you my thoughts and opinions on them, and all of that good stuff. Now, in today's video, we have got the new Bearcti deck. It's coming out in Ancient Guardians. I have no idea what it's doing. I think they have a level 1 tuner. I haven't talked about it because I was going to wait for all the stuff to come out, and guys, yes, I am still fairly not well, or just really not able to sleep properly, so I don't know how well this video is going to be, but I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to read them, and I feel like missing this is just a very bad opportunity. So yeah, today's video we're going to be looking at these. Hopefully they're good and they'll be interesting, but without further ado, let's actually get into it and talk about them, because having a level 1 tuner is definitely interesting. Well, a level 1 synchro is very interesting. So let's get into this deck. So we got start off with a Bearcti Mick Polar. So this is a polar bear, and it's a big level 7 beast effect monster. Okay, 700 attack, 2000 defense. All right. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, contribute one other level 7 or higher monster in your hand. Special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except monsters that have a level. Okay. So what this does is you tribute big monster in hand. So any of the level 7 monsters or level higher monster that exists. And just special summon this from your hand, and you can only special summon for that turn monsters that have levels. So you can't be special summoning Xyz monsters, and you can't be summoning Link monsters that turn. Alright, interesting. Restriction is kind of interesting. It's not something we've seen before, but I like the look. Its second effect, though, is if it's card is special summoned, you get one Bearcti monster from your deck to your hand, except Bearcti Mick Polar. Okay, so basically this is the Deneb of the deck, where when it's summoned, it'll just go ahead and search your card. Not bad, not bad. So we go on to the next one, which is another level 7. So this deck looks to be very focused on high-level monsters, so it'll probably have the same effect to summon it as well. So, let's see, during your main phase, quick effect, contribute one. Yeah, so this is basically going to be the same effect. Contribute one level 7 or higher monster in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. Also, you can special summon monsters for the rest of this term, except monsters that have a level. So that seems to be the overarching theme. You can only special summon monsters that have levels, and it has to be a high-level monster to tribute them. Interesting. Its second effect is, though, if this card is special summoned, you can target one Beatrice monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Okay, so this is the graveyard recyclability, and this is Micanius, and it's a level 7, it's a 700 attack, 1700 defense. Seems like they'd like to have 700 attack. Interesting. I don't know what I'm thinking about this right now, because it looks interesting for an archetype, but I don't see a lot of potential with it, because obviously you've got to give up resources in your hand to allow you to play the game, which is never really the greatest, unless those resources going to graveyard are obviously getting you more resources or have effects that will trigger when they're got rid of. Such as like the Heretics do. When you tribute them, you go ahead and special summon a normal monster from your deck, or a normal dragon. So, no, this is kind of interesting though. So let's continue though. So, Bearcti Miss Billis. Okay. It's a 700 attack again, level 7 beast effect monster, 700 attack, 1400 defense. It's got the same effect as the rest of them, where it tributes a level 7 or higher to special summon from your hand. And its second effect is, if this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Bearcti monster from your hand. Not bad. Like, I feel like this deck's biggest weakness is the fact that obviously you can't have access to like Xyz monsters, because there are some really good rank 7 Xyzes out there, such as like Red Eyes Dark Flare Metal Dragon, Big Eye, Dracosac, that this deck would be able to abuse, but because of that one little thing, it really just it's really upsetting that you can't really do it, but it is interesting to see. So I'm liking what we're getting here so far. And we got Bearcti Mega Polar. So this is like the Mega Polar Bear? But I thought this was the Polar Bear. So this is like the mini Polar Bear. Okay, interesting. So what does the Mega Polar do? It's a level 8 Water Beast Tuner. This is a level 8 tuner. What? Okay. So it's got the same effect. We contribute level 7 or higher monsters, special this card from your hand. It's got 2500 attack and 700 defense. Its second effect is, if this card is special summoned while you control another Bearcti monster, you can target one spell/trap your opponent controls and destroy it. Like, back row destruction is nice, I'm not gonna diss it, but it's not what I see to be the best. Wait, these are like, I just kind of realized, these are like just transforming bears. I like it. Like, they're legit like just transforming bears. This is actually kind of cool. Bearcti Megatanus. Yeah, okay. Level 8 Beast Warrior Tuner. They're all tuner monsters, level 8 tuners. How do you godforsaken synchro summon with a level 8 tuner? It's got 2400 attack, 700 defense, and its effect is the same as the first effect as the rest of them. The second effect is, if this card is special way you control a Bearcti monster, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to defense based on defense position. I would have preferred it had a destroy effect, but I guess it's alright. It's interesting. I give it a decent rating, I suppose, because like just setting an opponent's monster can be decent depending on what it is, because if your opponent has like, I don't know, something that can only be triggered with a specific face-up monster, such as like in Tellarknight, you have to tribute a face-up Tellarknight monster to resolve Stellar Nova Alpha. And with this, you can kind of stop that. It probably will go through first, but yeah, it's not bad. And then we've got Bearcti Mega Bilis, and it is a 2800 attack, 700 defense, same effect as the rest, and its effect is, if this card is special summoned while you control a Bearcti monster, you can take one card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. I like having ways to banish my opponent's Eldritch the Golden Lord, so this is pretty nice. Okay, so that seems to be all the effect monsters. Honestly, it seems the overarching theme is that they tribute each other to summon bigger monsters, and then they kind of transform into these super over-the-top versions of themselves. Like, that's kind of the thing that I'm getting while looking at them. Like, they're transforming bears. That's kind of like what I'm seeing here. They're transforming bears, and I kind of like that. I kind of like how that looks. So here's this level 1 tuner, level 1 synchro. I don't even know if it's a tuner yet. Honestly, seeing this for the first time, I'm still skeptical to how you're going to be able to even summon this. But hey, let's see. So it is a level 1 water beast synchro effect monster. It is not a tuner monster. Okay, that is the most interesting part about this so far. I was full on expecting this to maybe be a tuner monster. So it's a Polari, and its attack is 700, its defense is 1000, and it cannot be synchro summoned. Must be summoned from your extra deck by sending one tuner and one non-tuner monster you control whose levels differ by 1 to the graveyard. So, okay, so pretty much how you summon this is if you have a level 5, that's a tuner, and you have a level 4 or a level 6, that's a non-tuner, you send them both to the graveyard and you summon this. That's how you summon this thing. It's kind of like Ultimaya Tzolk'in, where it needs a tuner of level 6 or higher with a non-tuner monster that's level 6, that's the same level to kind of summon Tzolk'in. So that's kind of interesting. I feel like that's an interesting method. But what is its effects? So first effect, if this card is special summoned, you can activate one Bearcti Big Dipper directly from your deck. I'm assuming that is a good card. Second effect, you can tribute one level 7 or higher monster add to your hand, or special summon one Bearcti monster from your graveyard. Interesting. I don't see how, like, depending on how good Bearcti Big Dipper is, will kind of just tell me if this card is good or not. So we'll continue on, and we've got big synchro we're looking here. It's a level 7. And it's Beast Warrior Synchro Effect Monster. I'm assuming this is supposed to be like the tiny bear that transforms into this godforsaken monstrosity, which I love. But cool. So it's a Bearcti Septon Triumph. This is just a transforming bear, and I love it. This is basically, it reminds me of Alpha Trion from Transformers. I'm a big Transformers nerd as well, guys. I love Transformers. Optimus Prime, Galvatron, Omega. Yeah, let's continue the video. So it's got 300 attack, 700 defense, and cannot be special summoned. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by sending one level 8 or higher monster, tuner, and one non-tuner synchro monster you control whose levels differ by 7 to the graveyard. Wait, so to summon this, you need to have big level 8 synchro, a big level 8 tuner monster, and this. You specifically need to summon this to summon this. Okay then. interesting because the levels have to differ by 7. This is actually intriguing. Like, I think there's a way to get some Mecha Phantom Beasts as well to, like, higher than level 12, so maybe you could do something with that. But I like it. It's kind of cool. Let's continue. So, first effect, the effects of all face-up special summon monsters from the extra deck that have no levels are negated. So, negates Xyz monsters and negates Link monsters like that. Instant negation, pretty nice. Second effect, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can add 1 Bearcti card from your deck to your hand. Less intriguing. I would rather just have the ability to summon search, but I mean, having the ability to search a tool is a nice given, so I think it's okay. It's not the best, but it's alright. And, okay, oh no, this is like, this combining with these. Oh, I like it even more now. Okay, so we got Grand Chariot. This is legit now JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's not Transformers anymore. Even though that does look like a Transformer, like, it's never mind, tarot cards. Level 7 Beast Warrior Synchro Effect, 2700 attack, 700 defense, and must be special summoned with a level 8 or higher tuner, and a non-tuner Synchro monster whose level differs by 7. If this card is special summoned, you can target up to 2 other cards on the field, destroy them. I prefer this. That's for sure. That's for sure. And second effect, once per turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets a Bearcti card, quick effect, you can tribute 1 monster from your hand or field and negate the activation. That thing with the targeting again, like, I don't like, I get targeting is a big deal in Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of cards do it, but I don't like how a lot of the cards in the game focus around target-based negation. Now, this is a good card, don't get me wrong. Being able to destroy up to 2 cards or other cards on the field is really nice, and having the target negation is really nice, even though you have to tribute another monster. But I don't like target negation. I just think it's like, oh, my opponent activated a card that doesn't target that, like, Dark Hole that still kills it. It's like, well, now it doesn't matter. So, it's like that for me. But still, it's a good card. And, oh, that's the only 2? It seems that this man or this man doesn't get one. Wait, let me see what it looks like. The black one, so yeah, it's this one who gets it, this one doesn't. Okay, this man's the left out one, so we'll probably get another 2-note synchro for him later on. Now going on to the spell, so this is Bearcti Big Dipper, so this is the thing that the synchro here activates directly from the deck. So, it's a field spell, first effect, once per turn, if you would tribute a monster to activate a Bearcti monster, you can banish 1 level 7 or higher Bearcti monster from your game instead. That's not bad, because it gives you the ability to essentially get you closer to your plays, which is nice. And if you do have a level 8 in your graveyard, such as these guys right here and the tuner and synchro on board, you can just go straight into the big synchros, which is actually really nice, so that's pretty good right there. Second effect, each time a monster is special summoned, place 1 counter on this card. Third effect, once per turn, if a monster is special summoned, you can remove all counters from this card, minimum 7. Then target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of it. You can only activate this effect while there is a basic synchro on your field. So, I don't like that, because for 2 reasons. 1, you can only activate this when there is a Bearcti synchro on the board, which normally I'd be fine with because of its, like, cool, fine. That's a good restriction there. But the reason I really don't like this is because you need to remove a minimum of 7 counters. Now, I get why that's a thing, removing 7 counters, because of all the monsters are at least level 7, except for the level 1 synchro, but I feel like that is a restriction that really wasn't necessary. I feel like just having, like, the once per turn, you remove, like, 1 counter and you have to control the synchro, that sounds like a fair thing for me, but, like, I don't know, I don't know what goes through Konami's heads. It's just like my thoughts on this card. But yeah, it's a good card though, don't get me wrong. It makes the deck playable a lot easier, and it's a pretty interesting card. It's a field spell too, so that's nice. So, quick play spell card here. Bearcti Slider. Quick play spell. Target 1 of your Bearcti monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except after this card resolves, except monsters that have a level. Also special summon that target, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase. So this is Monster Reborn for Bearcti. Okay, fair enough. Having a Monster Reborn is always nice. Monster Reborns are good. Now for the trap card. Seems to be the only trap card as well, because like that's not a beast. That's oh, that's Asia's Rock. I remember that because I played it in Raccoons back in the day. So Bearcti Quant Charge, continuous trap card. First effect, once per turn you can pay 700 life points to activate one of these effects. Add one Bearcti monster from your graveyard to your hand. Tribute 2 Bearcti monsters, and if you do, special summon 1 Bearcti from your extra deck whose level equals the difference between those monsters' levels, ignoring its summoning condition. Now, interesting. So, pretty much what this does is you can either just get straight Bearcti from your graveyard, which is pretty nice, or you can just go ahead and tribute 2 to summon something that has a differing level. So, what I'm seeing this do is you tribute a level 7 and a level 8, and you go ahead and summon out the level 1, because I'm pretty sure that's what that says. Like, you go ahead and tribute whose levels are equal to the difference between those monsters. So, yeah, you're literally tributing an 8 and a 7, and the 8 and the 7 go ahead and summon the 1. Like that's what I see happening, because it's the difference between the two. So that's kind of cool. But its second effect is, when your best synchro monster is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster, you can have your opponent shuffle cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into the deck until they have a total of 7. Wait, what? So when your best synchro monster is destroyed by battle, you're with an opponent's attacking monster, you can have your opponent shuffle cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into the deck until they have 7 total. So does that mean 7 total in the graveyard, the field, and the deck? Like, that could be really, really insane, or really, really bad. Because one, this card says that, oh, my opponent has a board of 12 cards. Well, they also have like maybe 5 cards in hand. Well, now you have to choose, do you want to keep your hand, do you want to keep your field, or your grave's definitely going back in the deck. Like, that's an interesting thing there, but for a lot of decks that can be really useful because it gives you the ability to just recycle all your graveyard, which is really good for the opponent. So it's just like, I don't think that's the best effect in the game, but it's a decent card. I really do. I like it. I like the idea behind it. I just think it's more helpful to the opponent majority of the time. Interesting. But guys, that is Bearcti. This is an interesting archetype, being an archetype that focuses on tributing other monsters in your hand to go ahead and special summon Big Bear Transformer monsters, which is really cool in my personal opinion, and having a level 1 synchro monster that is basically the same way to summon it as you summon the Zolkin and activates the field spell from the deck. Do I think this deck is going to be top tier, meta, shenanigans, all of that? Honestly, no, not really. This deck looks fun, don't get me wrong, but I don't see it being a real heavy meta contender. But who knows, maybe I could be wrong, maybe this deck is really, really good and I'm missing something right here. But just for me, I don't see this deck being the most insane deck in the game. I see it having its good niche, it has a really cool concept behind it, and I feel like the synchro monsters are absolutely amazing looking. Like, this one is like Optimus Prime. This one is, oh my god, just, I get Megatron vibes, kind of, but he's got the scythe and Megatron has like the blaster cannon on his arm, but nah. But yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts though. Tell me your thoughts on the Bearcti archetype. Honestly, I feel like it's a really interesting archetype. I feel like they need a few more cards to make them really, really strong. Like, just for the fact that they have to tribute more cards from their hand. They have the field spell that sure allows them to tribute from the graveyard, which is really nice, but not always having that because it banish the monsters, and then you're wasting the resources and you might not have the resources all in the end, and all of that stuff really can be a hindrance. But nonetheless, the deck is really cool looking, it's really interesting. As I said, I don't think it's going to be a really strong meta deck. I can see it being a really fun deck, don't get me wrong, that might maybe hit tier 2 at some point if people can figure out the right strategy, but honestly, it's just a really cool looking deck in my personal opinion, and I don't really see a huge stuff coming from it in the future. Like, in deck building sets, there's always that one deck, and right now I kind of see this being that one deck. But guys, that's the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts of the Bearcti archetype in the comment section below. Check out the description where my Discord, my Instagram, and my team stuff is, and my Twitch and everything along those lines. And I will see you guys in the next one, because we've looked at Bearcti. Hopefully we'll get the reptile archetype or the new zombie archetype at some point as well, because I'd really like to, you know, see those two. But Bearcti, you're a cool looking archetype, love the art style, just feel like there's better out there, you know? Anyway, thanks so much for watching, Robot1 signing out. Later all.